If you like his video, again, his name is DecoyVoice, so give him a sub, like. If you like my reaction / commentary, give me a sub, like. I would appreciate it. And here we go.
The left is so concerned over masked ICE agents, you almost expect them to put out a hoax about fake feds. As a Citizen app shows us, the raids have only increased in sanctuary cities like Los Angeles.
Sanctuary, you mean Democrat cities, right? Blue cities.
While the feds have very distinctive appearances, seemingly never alone, with kits carrying thousands of dollars of equipment. But this video from LA is somewhat questionable.
Hey! What the f is wrong with you? Show me your ID. Show me your name and your ID. What's your name?
Now, I've seen plenty of reposts on this a hoax or stage for social media, as there definitely is something suspicious about this situation. That someone is clearly armed and identifying as a federal agent running at them from an empty parking lot. But people are mainly suspicious of this particular Homeland Security badge that, yes.
Yep. I thought it's a criminal offense to pretend to be a federal agent, no? Also, tell me, why would federal agent run with a mobile phone like this? Ridiculous, man.
Seemingly looks like the official patch we've seen before, and its many variations they've used in the past, but honestly looks more like a fake $5 knockoff. Now, either this is a real agent with just terrible tactics, which isn't really cause for concern, or now you have people actually impersonating federal agents in an attempt to create panic on social media, which should be a mandatory 20 years in prison.
Gavin.
But when you look at the local Fox News in Los Angeles, they're leaning into the panic.
Drove this Dodge Durango vehicle with no plates and equipped with police lights. Inside the vehicle, officers found handheld police-style radios, a firearm magazine, a semi-automatic weapon, and forged documents bearing the insignia of Homeland Security Investigations and U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
We have to believe that he either is involved in impersonating law enforcement officers or agents, or he is intent on impersonating law enforcement officers or agents.
Diaz was...
Do you remember that murder that happened in... how they killed those 2 Republicans? The guy who was impersonating the police officer with stolen police car and everything like this. If they allow this in LA or possibly in the future New York or something like that, it's crazy. It undermines the police so much. I mean, I'm saying allow this, but you know what I mean. Yeah, like, if I remember correctly, people in the US, especially in these democratic states, they already don't trust the police. And you see how they treat federal agents from ICE. This is going to make it even worse.
Also found in possession of phones and passports that do not belong to him.
The individual also has a prior arrest record related to human smuggling.
Human smuggling is a serious concern, especially among those who've sounded the alarm over masked federal agents making arrests without showing identification or warrants. Huntington Park Mayor Arturo Flores says the federal government needs to be more transparent.
Now, it seems like you have all the elements of a very serious crime, with the local mayor using it as a way to criticize how ICE is operating in his city. But how exactly are they addressing this individual criminal?
Do we know if he actually kidnapped anybody? Did they have any evidence of that?
Well, they have the passports, they have the phones that don't belong to him, so they're investigating. He hasn't been charged with any of that. He is out on a $5,000 bail, basically on the warrant for the DUI, but the investigation is ongoing. So at this point, they're looking at everything.
It sounds like they don't have a masked ICE agent issue. They have an issue not locking up anybody that might be impersonating them, unless they simply embellish the story to fit their narrative for fear-mongering.
That's what I'm thinking about. Because look, they're trying to obstruct the justice, right? They're trying to stop ICE agents. If people will be afraid that there's some fake ICE agents running around or arresting people, possibly smuggling them, how do you think it's going to affect the real ICE agents? it's gonna obstruct the justice even more. So again, call me tinfoil head, but I have the same opinion. It fits their narrative and their agenda. So
interviewed the guy.
The mayor that he did a press conference and stuff like that, releasing all these statements, putting my picture out there to the public and stuff like that, which is, it's fine with me. They apparently they're gonna see if I've kidnapped people and stuff like that. They're never gonna see me anywhere. Why? Because I've never done that stuff.
The chief says it was Diaz who claimed to be a former CPB agent, which the police could not verify. And then on Wednesday, the city of Huntington Park passed a resolution directing the police department to verify the identity of any federal agents operating within that city. The mayor demanding transparency.
At no point I told him I was a federal agent or I was a border patrol, officer or agent and stuff like that.
Diaz says, and I'm quoting here, he believes he was being used by police as a, quote, scapegoat. He is currently back home tonight with his family as this investigation continues.
Now, I don't really trust...
You know what's crazy nowadays? You don't know if you can trust a criminal or Democrats. Especially looking at the LA, right? If you look at the behavior of the mayor and the senator, it's ridiculous. Like, really, I don't know who to trust, because I don't think neither one of them is trustworthy.
Anything he has to say, but I also don't believe the corporate mainstream media will tell the truth either. As all these stories allude to, the only solution is to stop enforcing federal law, when you can easily prevent the situation by locking up anybody that would impersonate feds. As police impersonation has been a thing forever. As a while back, I covered this story from 2021.
CPD, open up. We need to ask you a couple questions. CPD, we need to ask you a couple questions. May you please step to the front door, please? CPD, open the door.
Now, they did arrest these guys for police impersonation, but apparently only got a 4th-degree misdemeanor charge, which in Ohio caps out at 30 days in jail. As again, this situation isn't fixed by eliminating plainclothes police details. You stop it by giving those guys life in prison just to set the precedence. But apparently in California, you can be suspected of much worse and just be let out on bail, which either proves the justice system is broken, which panics the community, or is a fabricated story just sent out to panic the community. As it's never about finding solutions for their situation, it's about finding situations that reinforce their pre-existing solution. As there is a quick fix for this. The only reason ICE is out there is because sanctuary policies and jails.
I've said for a month, sanctuary cities.
This guy.
You don't want us to arrest these bad guys that you just listed out. We could arrest them in the safety and security of the county jail, but they won't let us into jail. They release them into the community, which means we got to send a whole bunch of teams in the community to find this dangerous person that don't want to be found. So sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want. More officers in the communities. We're going to flood the zone.
Seems like a pretty reasonable compromise to me, but if the city won't fix the system to prevent known criminals from impersonating law enforcement agents, it's pretty much an advertisement for voluntary self-departure with the CBP app, as they can schedule their exit safely like a regular traveler, having all their civil fines simply forgiven with cost-free travel back home on top of the $1,000 exit bonus. Where they also avoid the risk of being sent to a third-party country like El Salvador or the South Sudan. But you're never gonna see the corporate mainstream media highlight this as a viable solution. It's all about just accepting their lawlessness. Good thing the media doesn't live in reality, as we recently covered Florida's alligator Alcatraz, which has sparked protests against it, with their activists that are interestingly too afraid to block their streets. But they're accomplishing absolutely nothing, as alligator Alcatraz...
That was a good protest. That was a peaceful, illegal protest. Nothing like that's going on in LA, right? And why did it look so peaceful in Florida? We all know why, right? You're not doing anything illegal in Florida because you know you're gonna get caught, you might get shot, you might get driven over, right? But in LA, no permit to protest. They block the streets, start throwing the bricks at the police officers, burning down the cars. But according to the mayor, everything's okay. It's Trump's fault that he sent the National Guard to help them, and that's why it escalated. It's ridiculous, man.
As is going to be operational in days.
We've got a massive runway right behind us where any of the federal assets that they want to fly these people back to their home country, they can do it one-stop shop.
With the official Homeland Security account advertising it with alligators in ICE attire, which is a reminder that most Americans, including immigrants, are in favor of these ICE raids all across the country. The simple fact that dangerous criminals might commit crimes like impersonating ICE doesn't change our minds. Just because the blue cities refuse to keep their communities safe by locking away anybody that would impersonate law enforcement doesn't mean that we think the law is a lost cause. So if you appreciate my concise, light-hearted commentary on the tragic status that is today's reality, subscribe to Decoy Voice.
Yeah, that was good. Good video. I 100% agree.